Today we're going to look at every shade of the new DIOR Rosy Glow Powder Blushes. They were delivered just a few hours ago and I cannot wait to try them on my face. We're going to do swatches and also application of each one on the cheeks. I'll apply the powder blushes on my right cheek, and then on my left cheek I am going to apply the blush sticks in that same color. I want to see just how similar each shade is across both formats, powder and the blush stick. Let's take a quick look at the packaging. So this is a shade Candy. Let's turn it over. Made in France and 12 months shelf life. Let's see if they have any fragrance. Well, let me show you the inside. This is what it looks like. It has a very faint, sweet smell. I doubt that we'll be able to tell once we apply it. If you're new to my channel, you're wondering what in the world is happening to her eye. Essentially, it's a hemorrhage that I get a couple of times a year. You know, the little vessels that we have in our eyes? Well, mine burst sometimes. I can't feel it. It's just very unsightly, and unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. Believe me, I have asked doctors, so many doctors throughout the years, and you just have to wait until your body clears it out and the blood reabsorbs into, I don't know, to your eyeball. Back to the blushes. This is a reformulation, and I dug deep into the reformulation timeline. We'll talk about what I found as I apply them. This is what the packaging looked like, and this is now the current iteration. This specific blush, the DIOR Backstage Rosy Glow Blush, was first launched in 2018 with only 2 shades, and throughout the years DIOR has expanded the lineup. With each reformulation there are some shades that have survived and others have not. But I digress. Let's do swatches. I'm starting with the pink. And let's also swatch the corresponding blush stick side by side. Just want to see what the colors look like. Okay, that looks pretty different. Pink in powder and the stick. If we go by the swatches, these 2 colors look pretty different. We'll see what they look like on. Let's see, pink lilac. Not a lot of pigment, it seems. I am gonna go back into the pan several times probably. So I do want this swatch to show, but I also want to show you how often I have to go back into the pan. On the arm, they're looking pretty different. Let's keep going. And this is Candy. Now these 2 do look similar. Rosewood. Rosewood also looks similar. Toffee. Let's see if this one shows at all. These 2 are looking pretty similar, except that the stick looks a lot more pearlescent. We'll see what kind of finish the powder gives us when I do the demo. If you want a closer look, more swatches on these sticks, I already did a review. I will link it here or there and down in the description box. This is Cherry. And now we'll start the other arm. Yeah, these 2 look the same. The last one is berry. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I wonder if berry is gonna be similar. I'd say most of the shades match across both formats, the powder and the stick, except probably the pinks. We'll see how different they look once they're on. We're gonna start with the pink one, brush 113 from It Cosmetics. Oh, I think this is more powdery than the one before. This is what the brush looks like. I am wearing foundation set with powder. Unlike the previous formulation, this one, the color shows up faster. It's looking a little chalky though. I don't think it's looking chalky. I can't decide whether this is looking chalky or really blurring. I think it's blurring. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be blurring. Well, first of all, I'm looking at the website and it wasn't advertised as one of its key claims. The key claims talk more about the pH reactive technology. These blushes come in two finishes, natural blur and pearlescent. But I'm looking at the model here. Notice the glow. I'm not seeing that glow on my cheek. But then you look at this model and I don't see a glow. Here I don't really see much of a glow. I'm seeing blurring, but I'm not seeing a glow. Could it be that these blushes are as blurring as the YSL Make Me Blush powder blushes, the matte finish? I'm gonna need to test them side by side, maybe not in this video. Let's see now the stick form. This is where the formulation timeline begins. In 2018, Dior released these Rosy Glow blushes in only two shades, this pink and a coral. Those were the only two colors that came out. Let me grab the glow stick pink. So initially in 2018, this blush pulled deeper and more pigmented on the skin. And consumers complained that it was too much. What they wanted was a natural look. If you want to know if it sticks to the face, watch that video that I pointed you towards. I do several times I throw my hair on my cheek to show you guys that it does stick to the face. Anyway, in 2023, Dior reformulated, and that version of the pink was too light. I'm gonna look down more than usual just to hide my red eye. Here's the finish. Anyway, so in 2023, Dior made it lighter, which created a whole new problem. Now it was way too light for deeper skin tones. Okay, here are both finishes. Turn down some more lights. Remember how on the arm they looked pretty different? I think that on the cheek, they also look kind of different. They're close enough. Maybe it's the nature of the finishes that are not gonna allow them to look identical. Now in this second reformulation, you can tell that you get more pigment. As you build, you do progressively get more pigment. Whereas the previous reformulation of this pink shade, you just could not get any pigment to show on the skin. I think Dior might have gotten it right this time with the amount of pigment. They're giving us enough pigment to feel in control, but we're not panicking because it's overly pigmented. Now, what does it look like if we add a little bit of the glow stick over the powder? Let me blend it in a little bit better. I'm seeing that the pink is quickly building up in pigment. If you're layering it like this, putting the powder on top, I mean under the glow stick, you will see the color really pop. But I'm not seeing as much glow as this side. I mean, look at that glow. I am not seeing that on this side. No, I'm not seeing the same dewiness. Let's do Pink Lilac now. Actually, Pink Lilac is a shade that I was referring to earlier when I was saying that it lacked pigment. Check out this clip of me swatching it. This is Pink Lilac, and I'm really not getting hardly any pigment payoff. Let's see what kind of pigment we get. The texture is a really fine powder. Ooh, I do see the blurring power. Okay, there's the color. There is the color. I'm liking the level of pigmentation, but let's do one more so that you can really see the color there. And now the glow stick. I'm gonna use the same 101, the BK Beauty 101 brush. I'm using a Sigma switch in between shades. This does an excellent job at removing any pigment you might have in your brushes. All right, so here we go with Lilac, Pink Lilac. So the makeup artist who started the DIOR Backstage line along with Dior, his name is Peter Phillips. He's a Belgian makeup artist. According to an article I read, it says that this Pink Lilac shade was Dior's attempt to capture what he calls a TikTok demographic. So those Gen Z consumers who, as Phillips jokes, know more about makeup by age 11 than artists did 20 years ago. That's funny, so true, right? Let's add some more. In general, the glow sticks are pretty sheer. And that's what it looks like. This looks like another one of the natural blur finishes. Which ones are the pearlescent finishes? I imagine that they're gonna be the same shades that are pearlescent in the stick form, which are Toffee, Candy. What was the other one? No, Pink Lilac was the other one. And I can see it just by looking at the pan. You see the pearlescence? So this is Candy and this is Toffee. The third pearlescent one in the sticks was the Pink Lilac, which has some shimmer, if you remember. This doesn't look pearlescent to me, but maybe Dior's calling it pearlescent and it's just to a much lesser degree than Candy. All right, so what do we think about the color and the finish? What do you think? I think it is looking blurring. And it's still not looking pearlescent to me. And on the side, we're getting the Pink Lilac color finish. First came out in the summer of 2024, along with other products like the lip glow. I think, yeah, some other lip products. I don't really remember right now. This Pink Lilac shade was successful in 2024, and that is why Dior included it in this new reformulation lineup. Let's look at Rosewood now. Seems that this is gonna be very pigmented. I am gonna tap it in the back of my hand one time. Oh, yeah, this is bold. Rosewood. This color first came out in 2023, which was the first Dior reformulation of these blushes. And I'm assuming that it did really well, otherwise they would not have kept this shade in this year's lineup. It's pretty bold. And here goes the stick. I remember this one being very natural. And even though I'm seeing that it blends very quickly, it blends even faster. Like it spreads even faster when you're not putting it on top of powder. Because on top of powder, it kind of grabs onto it. I'm going to apply a little more, but you see the difference in intensity between the stick and the powder? The stick, you'll have to build up a little bit more. Beautiful glow. So pigmentation wise, the powder is more pigmented than the stick. This is one of the shades that I've been the most excited about, especially because it is brand new. And I'm using a denser brush. What's this? A Sigma F47, because this is a nude shade. So for it to show up on me, I think I'm gonna have to pick up more of it at a time. Ooh, that's really pretty. I liked the stick version, but I think that I'm liking this powder even more. I think because I'm seeing more of the pigment. Now I'm seeing that this finish is pearlescent compared to the ones before, but I thought that it was gonna be glowier than it is. Beautiful though. Ooh, look at that. I really like this color. All right, let me show you what it looks like, the stick version. Look at that glow. I think it's really beautiful. Okay, let's blend it. Well, now that I see them side by side, I think they're pretty much an exact match. Add more. And also think about how these might layer. When it comes to Toffee, this is a great color to layer on top, like as a highlighter, to layer on top of the powder or another glow stick blush. Let's say you do maybe Rosewood or Candy on the apple of the cheek, and then here a little bit of Toffee as more of a highlighter. This is what Toffee looks like. Next up is Candy. This is a pearlescent bubblegum pink. It looks like it could be very pigmented, so I picked a brush with longer bristles and less dense so that I don't pick up too much powder at a time. Let's see. I'm gonna tap it in the back of my hand. Oh, I like the level of pigmentation of this one. I'm gonna go in again, tap it. I think this is a really popular shade, at least on social media, like on Instagram. When I read the comments, I see it mentioned a lot. Candy and Toffee, these are the brand new shades in this reformulation. I really like this one. Ooh. All right, let me show you this stick. Got a good angle there. Look at that. I'm gonna add some more. That pearlescence. Such a pretty color. In 2018, when these blushes first came out, they were released in only two shades, pink and a coral shade. But that coral did not survive. I don't know why. Maybe it was a problematic shade in that particular formula, because it seems odd that they would have eliminated coral, even though coral did come back, I believe 2023 or 24, but it was called Coral Poppy. Yet in this most recent reformulation, we don't have any shades called coral. This one, Candy, is as coral as you're gonna get. And if you look at the Sephora product page, it's described as a bubblegum pink. I don't think this is a bubblegum pink. Candy is one of my favorites. All right, cherry. Now this one looks bright in the pan. This is more like an orange red rather than a pure red. Wow. Actually, I'm not gonna go in with another layer. That is plenty. It's bold, but I wouldn't call it intimidating. It's too bold for my taste, to be honest with you. Let's look at the stick. I'm really liking that you can shear these sticks out. You saw that I just kept blending and blending, and eventually the color does tone down, unlike the powder. Next up is Berry. This shade is not new. It existed in the 2023 lineup, but consumer reviews were pretty brutal. It was patchy. It required multiple swipes, like to blend it out. It would go streaky. All right, let's see how this reformulation performs. Looks very intense. Here we go. It is behaving. Yeah, it's going on evenly. I'm not noticing patchiness or splotchiness. I think this shade is intended for deeper skin tones. I can wear it. I don't know, I don't think it's very flattering, but if you like it, you can make it work. With a light hand, it's possible. Let's look at the stick version. Oh, I remember that I have to do only one dot with this one, not a stripe, not a full swipe. That is all I will need. I'm switching to a smaller beauty brush. This is essentially the mini version of the 101. I want to see what's happening, what I'm doing as I'm blending better. And yeah, it takes longer to blend when you apply it over powder. In the other video, I applied it over unset foundation and it blended out a lot faster. Big difference when it's applied over powder. It doesn't want to spread as easily as it did in the previous video. So I'm gonna put the smallest of dots up there that I think I'm missing a little bit of color here. I like it better on this side, this intensity level, more than this side. I think I went a little bit overboard on this side. Final thoughts. I'm back to wearing candy with a heavy dose of toffee. Look at the glow. If you want glow without intimidating pigmentation, I think you should check out this formula. Remember that hair will stick to your cheek. This formula is and the powder version, I think it's a winner. I want to see this compared to the YSL blush. Perhaps in another video, I'll go into in-depth comparisons, both comparing the powder formula to other powder blushes and the stick formula to other stick blushes, like the House Labs, the Westman Atelier. What else is there? Help me out in the comments, please. What else can I compare this to? The Merit Balms, what else? Any specific blushes that you'd like me to compare the powders to? The one that I don't have that I will go pick up for that comparison will be the new Westman Atelier powder blush. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, if it was helpful, if you're in that purchase decision stage trying to figure out what you want to buy from this collection. I'll see you in the next video.